guys, welcome to PBR. How you doing today? I'm doing great. So this is going to be like my first recent reads video. I've never done one of these before, but this is actually like a recent listens because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. At my work, they let me listen to headphones, so if I'm not listening to podcasts, I'm listening to audiobooks. So let's go through my last 7 books. I'll give you like a short little summary of what I thought about them, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. So the first one was Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, I had never read this before, but I gotta tell you, the narration was awesome. It was narrated by Rob Inglis, and he is great. He like does lots of different voices and just really like brings you into the story. It was a really good read. I was kind of expecting more out of J.R.R. Tolkien because of like the movies and what everybody says about it and like how much like fanfare Lord of the Rings has, but it really didn't like hit me. Like the fighting scenes were like kind of hard to follow. Like he doesn't really explain the fighting scenes as good as I would have hoped. So I'm glad that I saw the movies first because it kind of helped me understand what was going on. I don't know if I would have saw the movie. I don't know if I didn't have. What am I trying to say? I didn't know if I wouldn't have seen the movies if I would have liked the book as much. I think you can understand what that means. Okay, so the next one is called Wasted by Marya Hornbacher. Now this one is autobiography by a lady that went through like anorexia and bulimia as a kid, and this was really interesting. Like just the way that she like explains what was going through her mind, how she would like not eat sometimes, how she would like binge and make herself throw up, all these different things she did to like manipulate people around her to make them think that nothing was really wrong with her, and the way that it like shaped her upbringing. It was a really crazy book and I liked it a lot. I would check that one out if I was you. The next one is A Walk in the Woods by, what's his name? Oh yeah, Bill Bryson. Now this book I really liked the first half, but the second half I like hated, man. This guy, like, I don't even know if I believe he actually did what he says he did in this book. He was saying that he like went on an Appalachian Trail through hike, which is like almost a 3,000 mile hike from like Georgia to Maine, and the way that he describes it in the first half is totally different than the second half. He's like a guy that just like gave up and skipped all these miles and like would hitchhike with people. I just didn't like the second half of the book. The first half was really interesting, but the second half just didn't do it for me, and I ended up not liking this book at all. The next book is Desert Solitaire by Edward Abbey. Now this is a book about a guy that was a park ranger in southern Utah, so like the Arches, like Moab, like all of that, like sandstone and stuff, that kind of a place, and it was really interesting. I liked the way that he described like what national park rangers do and what the National Park Conservatory actually is. It's just like, it's really crazy. You should definitely give this one a check out if you're into like the outdoors and like nature conservation and stuff like that. It was really interesting, but the book I didn't really like that much, but it was interesting, the facts that he threw into his like descriptions of the park and stuff like that. The next one was The Two Towers, the second book in the Lord of the Rings series, and I like this one way better than the first one. It was way more interesting. I really liked Gollum, the character Gollum, and this one like was far and above better than the first book, so definitely check that one out. And Rob Inglis is awesome at narrating books. I just love all the voices that he does, and just the way that he like portrays their like emotions and stuff is really great. The next one was Skeleton Crew by Stephen King, which is a book of short stories, and this one is way awesome because every short story is narrated like by a different great narrator. So like what's his name, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I don't know why, Matthew Broderick, the guy from man, I don't know, it slipped my mind now, the guy from Dexter. A bunch of really good narrators narrate all the stories in Skeleton Crew. It's definitely an awesome one. It's got one of my favorite short stories, The Jaunt. Definitely check that one out, Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. And then the last one that I listened to was A Life in Parts by Bryan Cranston and narrated by Bryan Cranston. Now, you probably know Bryan Cranston either from Malcolm in the Middle or from Breaking Bad. And Breaking Bad was like by far my favorite TV show that I ever watched, and I loved it. And I gotta say, I kind of wish that I wouldn't have listened to this book because he's kind of a blowhard. I mean, he's like tooting his own horn so much in this book that it gets kind of annoying. Like, oh, he's so great, he thinks. And it just kind of got on my nerves. Overall, his life was pretty interesting, but just the parts when he starts like talking about himself and like how great he is, that really like turned me off to him. So take it or leave it. It's an alright book, but if you don't want to hear a guy like boasting a lot about himself, I mean, it's probably a reflection of myself. It's probably what I don't like about myself. So you know how you feel about people when they do things that you do. So I don't know, take it or leave it. But thanks for watching this video. Those are the last 7 books that I listened to on Audible. Don't forget to like my stuff, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.